So we're going to get back to work on the new storage dome today. We're looking at the site here. So I'm going to put down some preliminary layout lines to make sure that I have developed the site to be big enough for the dome. So we'll get those lines out and do some measuring and see where we are. Well, that does leave me with a low spot in this back corner and in through here. So I think a couple more shovel loads of earth. Well, there we are. I finally got enough earth in here. I feel pretty comfortable with it. So the next step in this is going to be starting the wood chipper up and starting to grind up great piles of wood that I got up there. Oh boy, it is a hot one today, so that's going to be a bit of an uncomfortable job, but nonetheless, needs to get done. is hot. Well, that's pretty good. That's got all our wood chips down. That was an awful lot of work. So we are actually to the point now where I can bring the dome out and open up the box and start laying it out and getting the frame up. I'm going to crack this box open and start taking the frames out and go over the instructions and get her ready to go up. So it is a blistering hot day today. It's funny to go from just a few weeks ago when I started on the foundation for this, it was snowing. And now we have a temperature of just a little over 32 degrees, and they're saying it's closer to 40 with the humidity taken into account. So I'm dressed as lightly as I can be dressed, and yet still as covered as I can be covered to protect myself from the sun. So we'll see how far we get today. It will be a slow, nice, easy process on this today. It is so hot out here, even touching the pipes now that they're sitting in the sun is burning hot. But fun. My two end struts assembled. So with them assembled, the next thing you do is to finish getting all of the center struts assembled, and then we'll put the first set of supports on one of the end ones and start getting ready to stand things up. So I've got the first two frames up, which is usually really difficult, but thanks to the tractor I could lift up the first frame and get it roughly in position, and then stick the second frame on it and start to balance it out. So let's see how it goes getting the next frame in place. Okay, well there's my last frame up, so that's a good start. But because of the way I'm going to fasten this to the ground, I need to put in the lower supports too, which means taking them back out once I go to put the cover on. But I'm drilling into my patio stones, so I need a really good position. So I've got to line everything up so it's in its final position. So I'm going to put those bottom braces in and then run string down both sides and measure it, make sure I've got the right width and everything, and then we'll be ready to put the cover on. So let's see how that goes. All right, it's time to start pinning the corners down. So I got the generator running and I need my hammer drill to drill through, and we'll get this done. So I've got the frame all secured down and ready to go. So we're going to put the first end piece on and see how that goes. Well, it looks good so far, but I've got an issue with these bolts sticking out a little far. I'm pretty uncomfortable about those catching on this thing and ripping it. So what I think I'm going to do is get my grinder out here and nip them off and then wrap them in tape. That should protect everything. Okay, so we'll get the turnbuckles on now and see how that works. Well, that looks pretty good. It seems to be the right width. It's well folded over. And there's not going to be too much tension on the zipper, so that's very good. I'm happy with that. So same issue here, the bolts were sticking out farther than I liked, so I've already trimmed them back and taped them up. And let's see if I can make this cover work. Well, look at that. I got a zipper end at both ends. That's fantastic. So this is the real fun part. And now I got to get the cover that you see over to the side here over top of this thing. And again, doing it by myself, it's always an adventure. It would be so easy to damage it at this point. Gotta really watch you don't catch any of these bolts. Well, so far so good. I've attracted a lot of mosquitoes in here. So the real trick is getting this thing even over top of the frame. And unfortunately, the seam does not run down the center, so you kind of lose that. But we're getting it pretty close. So I'm going to start fastening down this end. Well, there we are. The dome is up. That was a bit of a job, of course, getting the top on it, but it's on reasonably straight. I'm pretty happy with it. That has not got this job finished yet, though. As one of the issues people have with these domes is that the covers don't last very long. I mean, for the price point, it's pretty good. You can't complain too much. But nonetheless, after maybe 2 years, if you're lucky, that cover is just rotted off by the sun. So the UV light just burns it away. So what I will be doing with this one is the very same thing that I did with the drive-through one, which is put a sacrificial cover on over top of it. And that seems to work really well. So I think that's for another day, though. We'll wait for the weather to get a little better. It is pretty close to raining right now. And the other really important thing that's going on is that SpaceX is launching their first manned mission today, weather permitting. So I need to get inside, get cleaned up, and go watch that happen. That should be pretty exciting. Well, there we are. The dome is complete. It's even got its sacrificial cover on now. So I've got this all fastened down really well. I have the first of my storage racks built, and we're going to start moving stuff in. So that's the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.